If you've been watching battle coverage from the Forge of the Chaos Dwarfs DLC over the last couple of days, you may have noticed that a certain selection of four-legged freaks have put the stamp in stamp of approval, consistently performing well across a wide variety of matchups and generally dominating the competition against skull crushers, single entity monsters, infantry, and just about everything else in between. Bull Centaur Renders are true monstrous cavalry, and they aren't just exceptional in multiplayer. In campaign, they are still one of, if not the best, Chaos Dwarf units, and Astragoth Ironhand has one of the nastiest Doomstacks I have seen in all of Warhammer 3, perhaps in all of this trilogy. We've come to associate Cav in this series with glass cannons, and in the case of many of those top-tier Cav units you might have had lofty expectations for, they're even lacking in the cannon department. Heavy on the micro, underwhelming on the charge, and without much staying power, there aren't many factions where Cav is the unequivocal best choice in campaign. But with the help of the Hellforge, and some powerful buffs from Astragoth's skill tree, we can fashion what is already a fantastic unit baseline and turn them into something truly obscene. It does take some doing, does take some setup requirement, but once you get that ball rolling, the pain train has no brakes. And really, that's the Chaos Dwarfs in a nutshell. Build tall, then power spike out the ass. So, here's what you need. Remember that at the start of your campaign, all Bull Centaur Renders have a 15% ward save from Astragoth Ironhand baseline, before you put a single skill point or level into anyone, because he's the High Priest of Hashut, and Bull Centaurs are the Temple Guardians, who answer directly to the Conclave of Sorcerers, so naturally, he buffs them. So take that 15% ward save, and pair it with their innate 25% missile resist from Scaly Skin. They are extremely resilient against missile fire, whether that be from crossbows or cannons. In Astragoth's red skill line, Crushing Charge gives them weapon strength and charge bonus, while Wretched Warhost gives yet more weapon strength, charge bonus, and physical resistance to any Bull Centaurs rank 7 and above. Plus, they can get Perfect Vigor. In his own unique skill line at the top, Architect of Evil reduces armament costs in the Forge, reduces their upkeep, and gives them more AP. If you have all three of those working in tandem, they are already a deadly unit, but the Hellforge is where things get really bananas. On the right, you can see all the potential upgrades, and each of these cost armament upkeep per turn. To start, you can select up to 3 upgrades, but with the Total War technology at the top of the military tech tree for the Chaos Dwarf faction, you can get 2 more upgrades running simultaneously at the same time. I'm at turn 80 in the Realms of Chaos campaign. I have not unlocked that tech yet, but it means your Bull Boys have yet even more room to grow from what you'll see in this video. The big ones for me are Blood Greed, Barrier, and Strength from Flesh. Barrier and Regen in melee, combined with their absurd base stats and resistances, makes them essentially unkillable, which is not an exaggeration. They can tank handgun volleys, cannon blasts, terracotta sentinel spinning shit, and they do not care while they rip and tear anything up in melee that tries to fight them. So Blood Greed is the obvious third choice here, because their killing power becomes substantially stronger as the battle progresses and they stack up more and more bodies. With Minotaurs, with their low armor, somewhat low resistances, they would be getting torn up, so yes, they get stronger as the battle goes, but that's being counteracted by the models they're losing. The thing with Bull Centaurs and Blood Greed is, they're not losing models. They're not even losing HP, because they're regenning all of it. So you're getting amazing flat stat boosts, but not losing any killing power as models go down. If I was to add 2 more upgrades, I'd probably get Murderous Charge and Terror, but honestly, it's wholly unnecessary, and you'll see why in a minute. I got attacked by 4 full stacks of legitimately scary Cathayan elites, with Sentinels and Dragon Guard, and all kinds of firepower led by Zhao Ming, and, well, I'll just let you see for yourself. We're on what, turn 78 of my Astragoth Realms of Chaos playthrough, and things just got Carolina Reaper spicy. Perhaps a legitimate threat to Bull Centaur supremacy, or even better, a test to demonstrate just how powerful the Temple Guardians of Zarnagron truly are. Bolstered by the Hellforge and by Astragoth, they are stupid good. 800 barrier HP, perfect vigor from raising into caps of the Forge, regen in melee, stacking missile, physical, and ward save resistances, and this is their stat line before they get into battle and start killing. Now, you typically won't be able to afford this kind of stack or the requisite armament upkeep until mid-game at the earliest, but if you're the kind of player who likes to min-max, it is actually surprisingly affordable. It's not like a 19 stack of destroyers or dragons that would typically break the bank. Their upkeep's only 200-ish right now, and that can go even lower. You can see that total armament upkeep per Bull Centaur is 42 per turn. We also have 3 Taruks in the army as well, supporting Astragoth. And I mean, it's Dawizar campaign day, right? Hellforge upgrades on the Droidquake mortars, we had to do it. Extra ammo, extra explosions. On the Cathay side, pretty decent stacks right here, man. Terracotta Sentinel, Celestial Dragon Guard, a lot of Jade Warrior Crossbowmen, firepower with the Iron Hail Gunners, artillery too. This will be a legitimate test for the Bull Centaurs. I'm actually really excited to see what they can do on the battlefields in this kind of situation. The focus today, of course, is going to be on the Bull Centaurs. They are the stars of the show, but I think y'all want to see some Dreadquake Mortar action too in campaign. We could abuse this really heavily. We're going to try to avoid doing that to an extent here, but it is nice to have some additional anti-infantry, something to destroy those blobs should they get a little bit too overzealous in their pursuit of Astragoth and the Taruks. Ironhand on his hilarious little mecha walker. Black Hammer of Hashut is kind of the core element of this strategy. Combine that with Flaming Sword of Ruin and Ash Storm to really increase the flammability of whatever we're attacking. Can goon out Terracotta Sentinels or Zhao Ming in seconds if we play that correctly. And then if they get really blobbed up around us, we drop the Droidquake Mortar on their heads. But the majority of the heavy lifting here will be from these Bull Centaur Renders with their Blood Greed, with their 30% plus resistance against all incoming damage sources, with their insane stats. Look at the stat line on these bad boys when we hit start battle. 55 and 57, 80 charge bonus, 150 weapon strength, 18 bonus versus infantry on the dual axe variant. And so what we're going to try to do here is have some of our shielded guys in the center to try to be that tanky frontliner, and then we'll have the dual axes flank around behind. But flanking, I think, is going to be kind of hard here because they're kind of spread out across the entire battlefield, and this is a little bit of a choke point with the eastern side of the map cut off by the cliffs themselves. So I'm going to try to pull the Terracotta Sentinel away from the rest of the army, have a few of these dual axes go around behind to deal with the artillery and the crossbows, and then pull those single entities into a more advantageous position for me where we can maybe goon them out early and then start shutting down the infantry play. I think we'll have the Taruks and Astragoth joined by the Great Weapon Bull Centaur Renders, kind of keep them in those 2 separate control groups but next to each other, and then the mainliners, the shields and the dual axe variants will kind of, well, one group will be in the front, one group will try to go around the flank and maybe work with that. But yeah, for now, I think actually the great weapons can go with the crossbows, because those are the only ones free in the center for me at the moment. And this is the combo I'm talking about. So, Black Hammer of Hashut, Flaming Sword of Ruin. I don't think we have enough Winds of Magic yet to cast Ash Storm. I'm not sure we're going to need it. We need 10 Winds of Magic. We have 9 right now. Waiting for it. Yeah, I think we'll cast it. Dude, look at how fast the Terracotta Sentinel died. So I don't want to go in quite yet. We'll maybe get 1 or 2 mortar shots in first to break up those crossbows and archers in the rear. I think Zhao Ming is invisible. I can't actually see him on the map right now. So I need to find a way to draw him out. But one thing you'll notice immediately about these Bull Centaurs is just their staying power. Like almost every other cav unit in the game, including Rhinox Crushers and stuff, you need to cycle charge. You can't just throw them into melee and forget about them. They take all kinds of damage. When you give them innate self-regen and self-sustain, and that 800 HP, the barrier, which gives them essentially a ward save against all incoming damage for that first 1/8, 1/9 of their health pool, they don't care right now. At all. Like, they're all literally full HP. Now, this is just the first army. There's 3 more on the way. There's Zhao Ming. Yeah, he was stalking in the middle of the little ravine there. I think that's a sign that our Taruks and Astragoth Ironhand need to go after him. So good start. You'll notice that the infantry, the 2 Blunderby and the Chaos Dwarf infantry are up top. Obviously, they would not be included in this Doomstack. It's just what I had on hand, and I haven't gotten rid of them yet. But we'll trade them out as soon as we can. 2 wind spells is going to be really important in this game. First, the Guns of Czar ability just saw me use. It's an army ability. Only have 2 uses of that. Oh my god, Zhao Ming with the MLG elite plays. He was on the ground and surrounded by my characters. And then he just said, nope, I'm going to turn into a dragon. And most of the time, that kind of ability doesn't work. But for Cathayan Lords, both Zhao Ming and Miao Ying, they can actually avoid damage and avoid surrounds because they will immediately respawn in a flying state. So even if they're in massive danger, turn into dragon form, and you're safe again. And vice versa. If you're getting gooned out in the air, you can transform back into foot form, and you will transition immediately to the ground. So that's pretty OP. He would have died there in seconds flat. So actually really smart from the AI. Dreadquake time. Oh, it's about to get disgusting. Big time shots from the Dread Mommies. Yeah, that felt real good. Alright. Zhao Ming's coming back into melee. This is our chance. Astragoth, as you may have seen, is considered by everyone who's been playing on this build and thought about it more than half a second, the best of the 3 new lords. Jazoth is quite good on Cinder Breath. Zatan the Black, definitely useful with his net. One of the few times, actually, I think, that all of the DLC lords are strong. That isn't always the case. For Vampire Coast, Aranessa, not a particularly good lord in campaign or multiplayer, to be honest. Tomb Kings, Kalita has always been kind of trash. But yeah, Chaos Dwarfs, all 3 of them are good, but... what just... Oh no. I missed that. I'm probably gonna have to go back and record that. Edit that in post. I didn't see that happen. I think a lot of Celestial Dragon Guard just got blown to smithereens. So I think we'll chill on the Iron Demon Dreadquake combo for a little bit here. And then I'll let our Bull Centaurs do some heavy lifting now. Because right now this is just straight poopage. This is completely dominant. And yeah, Bull Centaurs are not fast. They're 62 speed, which is slow, heavy cavalry speed. But they certainly have enough mobility to kind of force these infantry builds to over-pursue. And then once wings and pockets become isolated, they can prey on that really efficiently. Charge in, overwhelm you with your, what, 67 melee attack now? A lot of these guys are trying to get up to 65, 67, 70 melee attack base. Because Blood Greed's activating out, they have 100, 120 kills each. While the elite infantry can be dealt with by the dual axes who have 18 bonus versus infantry. And super high melee defense too. Astragoth and his Taruks can get rid of all those single entity monsters and lords. I kind of missed the charge there. Doing our best with the micro. I think it's working out pretty well, but kind of spread out. See if I can get a... yeah, I'll cast that. I mean, it's not great, but I don't want him to get rid of my barrier. And frankly, I don't think I'm going to get the AI to blob up a whole lot here anyway. And if they do, I have Dreadquakes to punish that too, so I don't really need to save Astragoth Winds of Magic for anything specific right now. I'll have a couple of those Bull Centaurs in the rear start coming in, deal with those Celestial Dragon Guard and crossbowmen that are shooting into me. want to keep that barrier up for as long as possible. And I do believe resistances apply to barrier too. So both the ward save, the physical resistance, and the missile resist. I think that all applies to the 800 HP on the barrier. So that means you get even more uptime on that overshield, which is just, it's disgusting when you combine that with regen. So much self-sustain. They just tank Celestial Dragon Guard crossbow fire like it's their job. There are very few units that can take volleys from AP crossbows and not give a crap. These guys are, some of them. 3rd and 4th armies are getting to trickle in now. That's why I had 2 Bull Centaurs go over deal with the artillery as they come in. These things are sometimes the last things to show up. But there's definitely at least 1 full army I have not seen yet. Probably due to just numbers, right? They cannot get all 4 stacks on the field at once. It's not allowed. 40 units, I think, is the max at any given time. That didn't do a whole lot. Yeah, I'm going to start gooning out those lords. I want to get them dead before the rest of those armies show up. Now, there are Celestial Dragon Guard halberds, which perhaps present a little bit of a unique challenge for my Bull Centaurs. Don't want to stick in melee with them for too long, but with 800 barrier HP up on those bad boys and get a downhill charge into them. Back here, killing a ton of the crossbows and arty, but I don't think I want to spawn camp them. It feels a bit lame. Really cool thing here too, synergy with the Dreadquake mortars. They don't deal any damage to single entities or to monstrous cav. So I do not have to worry about friendly fire at all. I can force blobs with Astragoth or with just the regular Bull Centaurs, and then the Dreadquake routes everything else. And we just saw it there. Bad shot, but right before that must have been a good one, because pretty sure they routed off some of that stuff. I'm going to move my Bull Centaurs away into the woods for now and let those armies start coming in. Sorry about that. That fool Italian Spartacus was messaging me. Who does that? Who talks to me on embargo day? Leave me alone. Probably wants to play for honor. He wants to feel my war mommy. I will give him the war mommy after murdering 4 elite Cathay stacks. I mean, this is going even better than I thought it would, honestly. We have not lost a single model. 526 out of 526 remain. Going into this final fight against the, well, I don't know. Is it 2 armies or 1? I don't even know. Oh, it's so brutal. And to be fair, there has not been a lot of casting from Astragoth here either. We've been a bit limited on that anyway. I think our Winds of Magic pool has been a little bit smaller. I don't have Arcane Conduit yet on Astragoth. That'll be unlocked soon. But I really haven't been casting much at all, because I really haven't been trying to force the blobs a whole lot. But what was a 6,000 man army is now down to 1,500. And actually, I think this might be the most powerful of the stacks. I think there are 3 Terracotta Sentinels in this one. Cannons are trying to shoot at my Bull Centaurs in the woods, but their barrier and the trees themselves are protecting them. Gonna draw those Terracotta Sentinels away from the main force, then have all my Bull Centaurs swoop in from the wings. Oh, this is gonna be perfect. This is actually gonna be perfect if I execute this well. Yeah, because the cannons and the crossbows and the Iron Hail Gunners are moving up. And I've got a surround off on them. Remember, I'm not even really using my Dreadquake mortars very much this game. They've got the majority of their ammo remaining. I'm straight up not using 4 full units right now that could easily be replaced by more Bull Centaurs, by Dreadquakes, Kadai, what have you. So we are still not even really near the pinnacle of what this kind of stack can achieve. I'm trying to go for the full combo. I have the Bull Centaur Render, great weapons coming in from behind. Didn't time that perfectly, unfortunately, because I had them out of position. I was actually flanking with the wrong unit. I'm gonna imbue them with flammable. A lot of stacking right there. We don't have Vial of Hashut, unfortunately. I think that might be a multiplayer only item. I'm not entirely sure. 60% flame weakness, but still getting, what, 25% plus Black Hammer 20, so 55%, and then Kindle Flame, so it's still a ton. It's still going to melt single entities. They have some support here, though. They have some help. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. I thought we'd melt them. Every other lord we fought this game, including Zhao Ming, we've melted. And that first Sentinel died in like 5 seconds flat. Kind of surprised. Maybe not landing attacks because they're blocking each other. I'm not sure what's going on there. But it does not matter. Oh, forgot about these boys. Bring them up. Unfortunately, I have not seen of a way to get regen on my Taruks yet. I imagine they can still get like Seed of Rebirth or whatever, those kind of items. Well, actually, there are a couple of Grimnir and Dwarf Ancestor battle items that if you don't use for the drill, I'm not going to go too deep into that right now because I don't want to spoil too much, and we might do videos specifically for that kind of thing, maybe going a little bit more into the narrative stuff. But there are battles where you can get pretty powerful items, and some of those probably have regen. But other than that, not seeing any specifics. And that is army losses for Cathay. As the Sky Lantern comes in, it routs immediately. And I'm not going to end it quite yet, for a couple reasons. Just like the Dark Elves, when you're gathering slaves, you actually get more if you run them down as opposed to just ending it right there. And we want more laborers, so we'll chase them. The other reason, of course, is just purely from a cinematic and spectacle standpoint, right? You guys want to see Dreadquakes, and you want to see me get kills with Bull Centaurs. That's why you're here. Let's kill them. That is so freaking cool. It's almost haunting. I don't know if you guys ever saw 1917, but there's an incredible scene of the cathedral at night where the flares start going up, and that's what the Dreadquakes kind of remind me of. Unfortunately, you cannot use insert to manually fire them. That's never really worked for indirect fire weapons like mortars. Only works for like cannons and stuff that you can actually shoot directly at targets. But man, that would be really fun to fire that in manual fire mode. I'm gonna give those trains more power, get them closer so we don't miss so many shots, and then have the Bull Centaurs run down the rest of these units. And I'm pretty sure that is going to be a heroic victory. We will see in a couple seconds here, but it said Pyrrhic victory beforehand, which honestly I was a little bit surprised about. I would have thought Auto-Resolve wouldn't really love our chances against 4 full stacks with some pretty powerful units in them, a lot of range troops, but I guess the Dreadquakes and, I mean, hell, the Auto-Resolve probably knows just how strong, oh man, that's brutal, just how strong the Bull Centaurs are, and it may even take the Hellforge stuff into account too, the upgrades. But 0 losses, 0. Not a single model lost in the entire army. And I think this should give you a fairly good indication. When your Bull Centaurs are charging Celestial Dragon Guard with halberds and taking cannon fire and AP crossbows and Zhao Ming charges and spells and all that, and they keep on fighting and they're full HP after all of that. Yeah, it's a Doomstack, boys, and it can get stronger. It can get a lot stronger. We're gonna get rid of the infantry at some point, and we're gonna get higher level, more upgraded Taruks. I don't think those guys are gonna be our slaves after that one. I think they're pancakes on the ground. End battle. There it is. Heroic victory. 0 losses. Can't ask for better performance out of these boys. So Astragoth Ironhand and the Bull Centaur Doomstack. That's a 10. Aerate it. That top note, that cream. Really good stuff. Yeah, that's fun. Now, I have always been very partial to mobility stacks like this one. Obviously, when I play Total War, I don't always go for Doom stacks, but while I do love me some balanced armies, it can be very fun to go just pure cav rush people down. And I don't know that I have ever seen a Cav army remotely this tanky. So you've got all the benefits of their speed, their mobility, their ability to dive into the rear, shut down range play, but you can also just throw them into the teeth of an enemy defense and kill entire armies. Yeah. So I think you guys should try this out if it looks remotely appealing to you. I'm really enjoying Astragoth's campaign. The Legion of Asgore is waiting on the wings, and I think we've got some plans for them too.